I, first of all, hate cooking. I absolutely hate it. Yo, what up, guys? Welcome back to the Macro Hour with Nikki Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you do all of the things like lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikki Stott, and welcome to episode number 42. Perfect timing, too. Releasing on a Friday. You guys have the weekend. We're going to talk about all things meal prep master. I want to turn you into being a meal prep freaking master. And this was triggered for two reasons for this podcast today. One, a week ago, I saw on our Facebook community that this woman was about to have a mental breakdown because of meal prepping and the time, energy, all of the jazz that goes behind meal prepping. So I want to just, if anybody feels that way, as that woman felt, it is not that hard or bad to do. It's not that challenging. So I want to ease that emotion here on this podcast today. And the second one is releasing in 2 days on Sunday, which I can't share the outcome of it now, but in 2 days, you will see a YouTube video from me that I did or did not achieve meal prep in under 30 minutes. So you'll know the answer to that in 2 days. And if you're listening to this way past like April-ish, that YouTube video is already live. Mid-April. If you're listening to this way past like May, June, then that YouTube is there and you can go see if I did or did not accomplish meal prep in under 30 minutes. Okay. But that is the gist of today's episode. I want you to become the meal prep master. I don't want you guys to feel so daunted as to like, having to do this activity. First of all, number one, it serves you in your goals. And number two, it shouldn't take you freaking 5 hours on a Sunday or a Wednesday, whenever you're doing it in the week. Now, disclaimer, as I share this information with you, I am meal prepping for one person. And I know that there's some families out there that need a meal prep for the kids and their husband and all of that jazz. And you grocery shop for them too as well. But I did a poll on my Instagram story and I asked you guys, because I also shared in this video that you're going to watch on YouTube, I did a little mini challenge and I timed myself in the grocery store too as well in that video. I obviously am not going to drop the details because I want you guys to go watch that. And, I'm releasing this podcast before that video is even live. But anyway, I asked you guys on my story because I was so surprised by people saying that they thought that I took an hour and a half to go grocery shopping for myself. And so I asked you guys, I was like, wow, I'm super intrigued now. How long does it take you guys to grocery shop? And man, I was just impressed by some moms that were sending their responses back to me by being like, I shop in under an hour for myself, my husband, and 4 kids. I was like, you go, super mom, right? And there's a majority of those, a lot of them, meal prepping for them or grocery shopping for themselves along with the family. And they did it with under an hour, under 45 minutes. Someone was like in and out. And I was like, let's go. So it can be done. Just for the sake of the podcast, but what I'm going to share with you guys today, the tactics, the strategies of becoming a meal prep master, you can totally implement for this. And I would love to know what you're if you want to share this with me on Instagram, if you went from a 2-hour meal prep session to at least an hour or maybe an hour and a half. And then a couple more weeks, you're going to get it to an hour. I guarantee you guys, you totally can. It just comes with these strategies and tactics I'm going to talk with you guys today. So first and foremost, in anything and everything that I do, there's always a plan and strategy before I go and do it, right? Like my days, I write down what I need to accomplish for the day, and then I prioritize the top things, and then I go and take action on those top things. Same thing goes for meal prepping, you guys. It's okay, priority. What is priority in my meal prep game? Okay, that may be the things that take the longest are going to go in first. And then everything else can literally just be done as those things are cooking, right? So for example, you obviously go to the grocery store, you get all of the food, right? That's step one. Or you order your food from Instacart or whatever. Then you have the food there ready for you to meal prep. And like I would say, pick a day of the week that you're going to do this. Pick a Sunday that you and like you have the time. Okay, guys, like I hate hearing the excuse of like I don't have enough time to do this. You have the time. It's 4% of your day to spend an hour meal prepping, 8% of your day if it takes you 2 hours, but we're going to get that time down today. So you have the time. Plus, these are actionable items for you to start behaving and moving on towards the person that you want to become. And I know for the past couple podcasts, I've really honed in on that. So these are supporting actions. If you meal prep, it's going to set you up for success. Okay. So you have all of your food, right? And now it's like, okay, in my brain, and this is literally how I broke it down in the video, guys, that you're going to watch on YouTube. But I was like, okay, in my brain, what needs to go in first? And so I put the chicken in first. I made the mistake of putting the ground beef on because that thing is just done. But I was like, protein will go in first. So I preheated the oven. I put the chicken in. I put the ground beef on top. So this is the thing. Multitask. Use all of your stovetop burners. Use your oven. Use a Ninja if you got it. Use a toaster oven if you got it. More the better, you guys, because you're going to be able to do multiple things at once. And if you're a mom, you can probably do that pretty damn well. Okay. So I put the chicken in first, I put the ground beef on top, and then I'm like, okay, that's going to take the longest, especially the chicken. That's going to take at least 25 to 30 minutes. And then move on to the next. I had sweet potatoes. So I'm like, I got to chop up these bad boys. And that took a bit of time. I should have done that before I did the ground beef, but you guys are following my gist here, right? Peeled it, cut them up, then put water in and put them on the stove. That took a little bit of time. And then the next two things that I was prepping was asparagus and rice. And those two things took a very short amount of time. Actually, the rice in it, I forgot that I was pressurizing it. So I had to wait for the Ninja to pressurize it. And so that took a little bit longer. So, but it's just prioritizing. And then this is a big thing that I'm noting that probably why it takes you guys pretty long to meal prep is y'all are getting distracted by other things. You're getting distracted by your phone. You're getting distracted. Maybe you put on a TV show to watch in the background. You're getting distracted by that. You're getting distracted by maybe your kids running around the house, and you're making sure that, everybody is fine elsewhere in the household, which is fine. But two of the other things with being distracted by your TV and being distracted by your phone, like, no wonder it's taking you 2 hours. Same goes for your workouts. If you're fucking scrolling on your phone, you guys, of course it's going to take you longer to do anything, to get done your workout, to get done your meal prep. So just stay focused. Stay focused on the task at hand, which is your meal prep. Hey, real quick, if you want to learn more about macronutrients and understand that methodology on how they can help you achieve your body composition goals of changing the way your body looks, I put together a free 15-minute training where I dive into macronutrients and how you can control your body for the rest of your life with them. That link is in the description below. Click on it after listening to the show today. As I said, prioritizing the things that you're doing. So putting the chicken and protein in first, or just focusing on meal prepping a bunch of protein, guys. That's the main thing that needs to be cooked during the week, because rice is easy to make. They have rice in bags now that you could just literally pop in the microwave, and then you have rice for yourself. Sweet potatoes take a little bit of time. Vegetables probably take a little bit of time too as well. But the main thing is, like, I use tortilla and rice throughout my week as like my carb sources, along with protein and bagels, right? So I am the person that probably has my meals in 5 ingredients or less. No joke. Because I, first of all, put this at the beginning, hate cooking. I absolutely hate it. And I would, if I joke about this, I would probably burn my place down. Obviously that hasn't happened, but if I put some serious thought into cooking a dinner, it would take some serious time. So I'm like, how can I just make this so much easier, less time consuming, and less things that need to be prepared? That's how I roll. And plus I eat for fuel, and function. I don't really eat for like the taste of things. I eat for fuel and function. Sure, does that taste good? Yeah, a little bit. But like, is it going to fuel me and am I going to feel good? That's all I care about. Okay, so prepping all of this stuff, getting it done, and then having it in my fridge when I'm ready to go to eat a meal in the day is an absolute game changer. Meal prepping, you guys, and then putting it in Tupperwares or putting it in like your lunch bag for the next day is an absolute game changer. It's only up to you then if you decide to make silly, stupid decisions like going out to lunch with your coworkers or having a cheeseburger for lunch when you have your packed meals. You're in control at that point. But having all of these things done, you would literally raise your success rate by so much. But those are the ways that I would just like, this is how I would do it. And as I've said it, you have to strategize your meal planning session. When is it going to happen? Put it on your calendar when it's going to happen, or commit to the time that it is going to happen. Make sure you have everything set up that you need, like from the food, from grocery shopping, and then lock and load yourself in the kitchen for 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how many people you're cooking for, and then go head first. Prioritize. Okay, proteins are all on. Ground turkey could even be on the stove. If you have more people to prep for, chicken in the oven, chicken in a Ninja to pressurize it, ground beef on the stovetop, ground turkey on the stovetop. If you're cooking for some vegetarians or vegans, Seitan is an awesome vegan meal that would also sit as like ground beef on the stovetop. Fish, if you're doing salmon or white fish, put that in with the chicken and just watch it. Cook it at the same time. Okay, so it's just like thinking, like, don't do one thing at a time. That is surely going to take you a long time to do all of the things. But if you use the resources that you have, like an oven and a stovetop, and if you have the Ninja, use that. Okay, so then putting in that. And then, like I said, I usually have dry things like oatmeal, bagel, tortillas. But if you have to cook rice and sweet potatoes, slice up the sweet potatoes, put that in the oven if you have room, if you're not doing fish, right? Cook that while the chicken's cooking. Or chop them up into cubes, put a little bit of water in, and then put them on the stove and cook them on the stove, because you have 4 burners up there. You can multitask, right? Like, it is totally possible. So I think majority of the time that that's going on here is, maybe it is that you have more people to cook for, but you have the resources that I just said that you could do all of those things. Like, if you think about chicken, probably take the longest time to cook, of upwards of like 25, 30 minutes. I like to cook it on a higher, like 450, and less time, because it makes the chicken juicier. Or pressurize it. Pressurizing it only takes like 20, 25 minutes too as well. And then ground beef and ground turkey are so quick. You can get that stuff done in like 10, 15 minutes. Okay, so like think about that right there. Chicken and ground beef and ground turkey on the stove, and it was maybe in the one in the oven. That's under 30 minutes right there. That's under 25 minutes. And then while those things are doing the things in the pan, you make some rice and you make some sweet potatoes or potatoes. So like, tell me where this takes an hour or 2 hours. My guess is, like I said, y'all are distracted, or you're just moving slow. But seriously, like, you can do all of this. You can do all of this, especially if you're cooking for more people, at least in under 45 minutes to an hour. This should not take you 3 hours. It should not take you. I hope the video helps you to see how I thought through it too as well, because it all is strategizing, prioritizing, and then taking the action and staying focused in the moment, because that's all. I should have prefaced too, this meal prep that you guys will watch in the YouTube video was a week's worth of food for me. Okay. So like, I cooked a week's worth of food for me in a certain amount of time, and it was surely under an hour. I'll say that. I'm not going to give it away because you guys have to watch it. It was a hilarious video, by the way. You guys got to give it a go. But for the moral of this podcast, It is totally possible to become a meal prep master if the main takeaways are that you think through how you're going to take the action. You strategize, you prioritize, and you do the things. And all of those examples I said are totally possible. Now, if you're getting fancy into the nitty gritty and you're making some like beautifully well done lunch and beautifully well done with all these spices and all this garlic and all these onions and all this jazz, then like that cut up time, sure, it may take you a little bit longer, but still it shouldn't be taking 2 hours to meal prep or 3 hours or feeling like it's a daunting exercise. So I put tactics in there. Now talk about mindset really quick. If you feel like it's a daunting exercise, then you're just going to get more of what you've gotten result wise, because you're not going to do the thing. You're not going to find it fun or wanting to do it if you're feeling like it's a daunting exercise and feeling like you're going to have a mass breakdown. Look at it as something enjoyable. Literally meal prep, man, guys, like I feel so good when I have my food prepped because I'm eating clean food. And that alone gives me so much energy. So think of it like that. You're doing an activity that's serving who you want to become and the goals that you want to accomplish and setting yourself up for massive success in future days to come. And you also don't have to think about food. People waste so much time thinking about what they're going to eat for lunch and dinner. Like, I've been guilty of this too. Luke and I will be like, hey, what do you want for dinner? I'm like, I don't know. And then we spend an hour thinking about it, right? Especially like if we want to go out for dinner for one of the nights. So if you guys can eliminate, there's so much other things, so much other good time spent for your brain will come into play when you're able to already know what you're going to have for lunch and know what you're going to have for dinner. And all of our pre-workout, post-workout, and breakfast. Those three things normally stay the same for me. Breakfast is the same every single day. Egg whites, an egg yolk, egg whites, a whole egg, and a bagel and cream cheese. And then my pre-workout is oatmeal and egg whites. And then my post-workout is a protein shake and fruit. And then lunch and dinner are the things that I prep and change maybe every week or 2 weeks. Okay, so, but think about it. It's not daunting. It's something that's going to serve you and your goals. And so get excited about it. You're going to be planned. You're going to be organized. You're going to be on point. So that's how you can become a meal prep master, you guys. Plan ahead. Know what the foods you're going to have. Strategize it. Prioritize the things that you're going to cook first that you know are going to take the longest. And at the same time that those things are in, cook everything else that you maybe have on your plan. Chop up the things, add it in. I'll do all of it, but get the priority bulk in cooking first. Okay? It's totally possible. Go watch that YouTube video. Releases in 2 days. And you guys will be able to see if I was able to, or not, accomplish a meal prep in under 30 minutes. All right, guys, peace out. See you in the next episode. Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds, and it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else.